7 o'clock. Just like every other Sunday night, we go live at 7. We go live at 9 on Fridays or thereabouts. We are just hanging out in here. We're going to be talking about car audio stuff and whatever else comes to mind because a lot of other things pop up. But if you guys aren't here experiencing the live show, the way this works is people pop in, they start asking questions. I answer the questions. Usually have some topics to kind of cover whenever the questions are thin, and we just go until we run out of juice. So let's get this party started, baby. I want to show you guys something kind of cool. We're going to go there and we're going to do that as we wait for people to show up. So here we go.
If you wanna move, then drop that low bass. If you wanna move, then drop that low bass. Low bass, drop the low bass. Yeah, drop the low bass. Yeah.
What's up, El Fuego?
Lay it on the ground. I say loud. Lay it on the ground.
That was something I've been working on tonight.
If you wanna drop it to the ground.
Y'all let me know what you think about what my direction is down here.
Drop it to the ground. Music right, boy. Play that funky music right. Play that funky music right, boy. Play that funky music right. If you wanna drop,
what do you think, man?
Drop it to the ground. If you wanna drop it to the ground.
What's up, Mad Ball, baby?
Get low. You gotta get low. Gotta get low.
Funky,
if
baby.
you wanna move,
yeah, baby.
Then drop that low bass. If you wanna move, then drop that low bass. Low bass. Drop the low bass. Drop the low bass. Drop the low bass. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I got a lot of work to do on that track yet. It ain't finished. But I've done a ton of work already. So I was just dropping it on you guys. It's in probably about 50% finished. But I got lots of cool stuff to talk about tonight. So I want to show you guys something else right here. This is Joseph's car. And he's doing a little walk outside demo. Y'all check this out. It's a short.
And I'll spend the rest of my life running from myself.
Walk alone, shadow in the night, trying to hide from the monster inside. Every face, every town I pass, feel the rage that I cannot suppress. Friends don't stay, love turns away. Every heartbeat fights another day. Chains unseen, I wear
And see, that is one. That's a hell of a little demo. He didn't walk away as far, but that's one of my tracks. And I noticed that the bass, uh, he's tuned a little high, so his bass didn't come across on there as well. That track drops down to about 29, and he wasn't playing that note very well. At least it didn't come over the camera very well. But that is a thing. Let's get let's move over here and get to the comments because I got a couple of questions. I got one anyway. Um, so Troy says I have a 2004 GMC Sierra 1500 with a Bose system in it. Okay, that's a complicated question. That's a lot of a question actually. Um, what would I suggest for a replacement system? I would suggest looking at the uh, uh, JL Audio Stealth Box to fit under your back seat if it's the one that has the extended cab. I'd look at that for your subwoofer. It's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,000 for that box and the sub, but it's worth every penny of it. You wouldn't be able to build that in that quality and load it with subs for less than that price. That's a good price considering. Then I would look at, depending on how loud you're trying to get, of course, I would look at a 5-channel amplifier or possibly a combination of a 4 and a single subwoofer amplifier. You're going to need about 1,000 watts. Let me think about that. I think if you get the TW5 version of the Stealth Box, I think those are rated at 300 watts RMS. So you're not going to need a ton of power. I'd probably just do a 5-channel. And then looking at putting in, replace your door speakers with a better driver. I'd probably recommend like the JBL Stadiums and the doors, and then head over to customspeakerpods.com and get a set of the A-pillar pods and put you some tweeters, maybe some mids in there. If they have a mid pod for that door, or for that A-pillar, put a set of Audio Dynamics 3000 series 3 point whatever 3.2 3.3 whatever they are that fit. They fit in those. If it's got like a 3-inch cutout, put that in there, and a good tweeter like from Rockford Fosgate, the T1 or the T2s. They're fairly inexpensive and they're excellent tweeters for that combo. They would work well with that mid driver. They play low enough to handle that mid driver's upper cutoff. And that 3000 series mid from Audio Dynamics will absolutely play to 20K. So it can cover that tweeter, but I would put a tweeter on it and roll it off at like around 10K and roll the tweeter off at around 10K. And then put a set of the JBL Stadiums, the JBL Stadium coaxials in the doors, and then run your you probably need to use a capacitor on the tweeter so that you could run that as a single channel. So you'd run both A-pillars as channels and then both doors as channels, and then the 5th channel on that JL Audio Stealth Box. That's the basic setup I would put in there if it was me. And unless you're trying to get stupid loud, in that case, we're going in a whole different direction. If you're just wanting a good loud SQ setup, that will work nicely. It'll crank and it'll sound like a yeah. If you want more control, which would actually be a good thing, is using the B2 audio. That right there, that little DSP behind me, the 610 from B2 Audio. That's a great little inexpensive DSP that would give you the control you need. You would run from your head unit to the DSP and then out from the DSP into all 5 channels of the amplifier, and then out of those channels into your speakers. And then you'd use I don't remember the ohm load. You'd have to study and find out what the ohm load is to cut off around 5 to 10K, somewhere in that range on the tweeter up there. But you put those in the tweeters, and then and run those as a single channel, and you would cut those mids off on the bottom at about 500 300 to 500, somewhere in that range, depending on how loud you're going to get. If you're going to crank the snot out of it, then cutting them off at 500 is a good idea. If you're just going to play it kind of low and kind of chill and kind of mellow, then you could probably go as low as 3. But I wouldn't go any lower than 3 or 350 or something like that. But they're gonna really pull the presence up high and give you a really good high image for your sound. Uh, and the door mids are going to give you a lot of full feeling of the room. They're gonna light up the space in the cab. The ones in the A pillars are going to pull the sound image up so that it appears like all the music's coming from up there. Those door speakers will also help to bring the bass forward, because most of the bass is going to be coming from the back, but the door speakers are capable of playing down easily down to 80 hertz. And so they're going to pull it. The subtle sounds that they make in those bass notes are going to pull that bass forward and give you more of a forward, left, right bass instead of a bass in the back kind of a sound. It's a lot, and then a whole lot of tuning. For that kind of setup, you're probably looking at an amp that pulls maybe 100 amps. So you probably want to put a small battery back there. At least like the Big Jeff Lithium battery would be perfect for that kind of a size. That way you're not going to be straining, not going to be dimming headlights and stuff. It'll be nice and consistent. You get all of your mids will be nice and poppy. Your dynamics will hit nicely. Having a small battery right there to pull from is going to help even out that voltage pull, that current pull. So that Big Jeff battery is like $300, and it would absolutely support 1,000 watts or something like that. You could probably support it fine off your stock system, your stock electrical, but I would suggest adding that just for the to smooth out that current draw, so you're not dimming your headlights and stuff, and also to give your dynamic hits more presence. They'll help the amplifier a lot by having a battery to pull from, a good strong battery there to pull from. And if you go through them, the Big Jeff Lithium battery, use my discount code CAE, get a discount off of that. And for the A pillars, if you go through them to customspeakerpods.com, discount code CAE will get you a discount there as well. Let's see what else is going on in the chat. I got caught up in that one. What's up, Franco Quaid? Real Cisco said each amplifier wired down to 1 ohm and simply just gain match. Do I have to do a DSP or epicenter, or can I just rock it? Okay, I'm missing something else. Did he say something else? No problem, Troy. Down to 1 ohm. Okay, so he's got 2 amplifiers wired down to 1 ohm. Simply gain matched. You don't have to have an epicenter. An epicenter is a completely different beast from a DSP. They do totally different jobs. A DSP is a good choice because you can gain match your amps, and then you can use a DSP to control the level of both of them together. It's a very helpful thing, but you don't have to, because you can also use like a bass knob, send a signal to both amps to go through a bass knob and control it that way. But I will say this. Bass knobs often introduce noise in the system, so keep that in mind. But yeah, you can rock it like it is. Oh, okay, cool. Let's see here. Twister, thanks for the suggestions. Yeah, it's a good sounding system. Yeah, that setup I explained to you is going to do a fine job, and you almost definitely want to get the B2 DSP back there on the wall. And that's also go to B2 USA website, not Big Jeff for that. Go to B2 USA, because you'll put your discount code in there. If you go through Big Jeff, a lot of times on that particular item, you won't get a discount. But if you go to B2 USA, you will. For the B2 610. That's like $160, man. And it's a really good little freaking DSP. That's what I've run all of my audio through back there, that DSP. So when I'm mixing and doing all the work I do on sound engineering and shit, that's the DSP that's handling everything. So I mean, I can run anything I want, and that's what I'm running. I've got some really expensive crap that I could put on that wall, and that stuff that's up there does just fine. Bobby said, "Yo, let's see here. When you guys are all going back and forth, I appreciate y'all for showing up. Bobby and Troy and Outlaw, El Fuego, you guys are all great. And Make Great Money says, I have, that's a great name. But is any money not great? So there's that. You can make money great again. I have a car that takes 6x9. Should I replace it with 6x9s or put in 6.5s? Man, there's a whole lot of people that like to do the pinky thing. The Grey Poupon crowd will tell you that you cannot run 6x9s. You must replace them with 6.5s. I disagree 100%. By nines have got more cone area, and they can play lows better, and they sound just as good as a 6.5, as long as you're using quality by nines. And my favorites are going to be the JBL Stadium by nines. If you're wanting quality sound, if you're wanting crank it loud sound, the Depbonts has a 6x9 that gets stupid ass loud. So if you're wanting really loud, you just clear and ringing a bell, bust your eardrums loud. That's what you want. But if you're wanting something that's going to give you a really round and solid sound, and most people want that, then you want the JBL Stadiums. I really like those 6x9s. They're great. I like that whole line. The Stadium line is just, they're just good, man. They get plenty loud, but they have such a great sound to them. Let's see here. Is it still worth using a DSP with coaxials? Yes, because you can control the cutoff points and you can control the time alignment. Also, if you want to get crazy with coaxials, most of them you can separate and you can EQ them differently. So you can actually do DSP work on a coaxial as a single entity or as separate entities. It's very doable. On modern coaxials, most of the time, the tweeter wire goes down into the magnet and comes out the back of the magnet and then follows it over into the terms. You can just cut that and hook up right there and have it totally separate. The cool thing about a coaxial is it puts a tweeter in the same exact location as the mid, which means that all the sound is coming from the same spot. And that's actually a plus. Okay. The pinky guys will tell you, oh, your tweeters have to be high, and no. It's more important that all that sound come from the same spot. The reason I sent him to that particular setup with the coaxials and the doors, and then basically building coaxials for the dash, for the up high, is because having those mids up high, in addition to the doors, gives the presence up high. It pulls the band up high. All the important information is from up high. The bottom is just going to fill in the room and make the whole room come alive. So absolutely, yes. What's the difference between gain matching and two amplifiers, or comparing it to strapping them up? Everything. The only thing those two options have in common is running two amplifiers on subs. Other than that, everything's different. Strapping basically makes two amplifiers act like one. So when you set all the controls on the master, the gain and everything, all the stuff that you can set on that master, basically does the same thing to the slave. So the two things that happen when you strap an amp, one is you turn them both into one full bridge amplifier. Okay, so you can only strap half bridge amps. So you essentially turn both of those two into a full bridge amplifier, and they work back and forth. Whereas one amp will push, a half bridge pushes and then rides it back. A full bridge pushes and pulls it back. That's why a full bridge can be so much more powerful in the same footprint, because it does both ways. Whenever you put two half bridges together, you turn both of those two into one big full bridge, and they can push and pull both directions. They assign jobs, the different jobs to the two amps. Then the next thing that happens, that's one thing. The second thing that happens is the master will be the one that gets the controls. So whatever you set all that the points on that master is what the whole thing will experience. So when you strap two amps, you're basically building one big amp. Whenever you're game matching two amps, you are setting the output level of both of those amps. Now, which is going to give you more power? Um, well, it kind of comes down. Oh yeah, when you strap two amps, you're also doubling your own load, so you should be getting the same power no matter which way you go. If they're strappable though, it's easier to strap them than it is to game match. Game matching usually doesn't get you perfect symmetry. You can get real close, but not perfect. Whereas strapping, you don't have to worry about that because you just have one gain knob to set. That's the big for you. That's the big difference. You're going to be using the same ohm loads because let's say you got two 1 ohm loads and you're putting it on two amplifiers. Well, when you strap the two together, you're going to end up doing the same thing, but you're going to be using a 2 ohm load instead of a 1 ohm load on each side. You're going to put a 2 ohm load on the combo, so you're going to get the same power. If they're strappable, strap them. Oh yeah, Fuego said CAE getting the Big D Wiz nod is one of the top 25 underappreciated car. I saw that. I commented on that video, and Big D is one of my big channels that I appreciate. I even watch his old school amp stuff and all his crazy ass reviews. He reviews some really crazy stuff. But what I appreciate about Derek is his honesty, his integrity, um, his personality. You know, he's a real person. He doesn't play somebody else, and he's not this guy and then this guy. He's the same guy. Um, and his overall outlook on life and the way he treats people and stuff is very similar to mine. So I feel for the man. He's a good guy. So I watch him because I like him. Um, I started watching him because I liked the stuff he was making. I kept watching him because I appreciate him as a person and the stuff he makes. So yeah, I'm very happy about that. Exactly. A by nine. See the problem. The reason by nines got such a bad rap back in the day is because the by nines that people were replacing these speakers with, they were all crap. They were all made to the cheapest possible price, and people were buying them to replace these 6x9s. If you wanted a good speaker, it wasn't going to be a 6x9. It was going to be a 6.5. Today, if you can find 6.5s, which they're not, or 6.6 by 9s, there's not many of them, but there's a whole lot more really good quality by 9s out there now that can do just as good of a job as a 6.5 and have a lower overall ability, a lower frequency response range because they have more cone area. They're going to be able to play the drums and the lower stuff a whole lot better than a 6.5 will. So yeah, what if I have an extra JBL club 6.5s already laying around and adapters? Is it worth buying the 6x9s? The clubs are good, the stadiums are better. That's a tough question, man. Depends on how much. It depends on how hard the money is to come by. If that's one of your limiting factors, if money is a limiting factor, then yeah, the clubs would be solid. But if money is not a big limiting factor, the stadiums are such a huge step up from the clubs that yeah. And plus they'll be 6x9, so you get the extra cone area. And money has to be really big limiting factor for me to choose not to upgrade to the 6x9s. I would still absolutely jump on that because I know how good those stadiums by 9s sound. They're sick. And as far as upgrading to the 6.5 version, that's going to be less of an improvement. It's still going to be an upgrade, but I'd be less inclined to upgrade. I'd be more inclined to stick with the clubs if you're going with the same size speaker. So, but in that GMC, I believe you have a 6x9. You got one of those stupid egg shaped cutouts. I would say to go to somebody help me out. What's the name of that damn website? The one where you can buy stuff for vehicles specifically. Anyway, it'll pop up in chat because someone's gonna pop it out there. Go to that website and get the kits to convert, because that hole that's in your door right now is not the right shape for a 6x9. It's very close, but it's not. You need that Crutchfield. Somebody probably hadn't popped it up. I just remembered it. Go to Crutchfield and get your 6x9s. And while you're getting them, get the adapter rings for, yeah, W put it up there. Get your adapter piece for the 6x9s for your truck. And also, whenever you put that together, use some thin sound deadener. The best stuff I found is going to be like Noico or Killmat or Amazon branded sound deadener. Use some thin sound deadener on the spot where you're going to put the ring at, right up to the edge of the metal hole, and all of the surfaces. Like, put it over the hole, then cut it out so that you have it right up to the edge of that, all that stuff. Then put your piece on top of that. That little bit of tiny bit of thickness that deadener adds will add a cushion in there and help that whole piece really tighten down good and tight. And then once you put the bracket on that the speaker is going to mount into, put some more sound deadener on and run it up the edges of that bracket all the way around, so that the whole bracket is basically the color of the sound deadener. You don't want to see any of that bracket sticking out. Then go back in behind and put a deadener inside your door panel, on that panel that's the outside, the one with the paint on it. Put that panel, put it in there, and then bring some back in from the inside around that whole area. And then after you do all that, mount your speaker, and then put a little foam, one of the little foam connectors that connects the speaker, the metal part of your door, to that inner door panel. There'll be a little ring. Put the rings on and put those on the outside of the speaker, not on the speaker itself, but right around the outside. So basically, when you go to poke your screws and stuff in the speaker, it should be on the inside of that foam. You should be able to put the speaker on after the foam ring is already there, if that's so that mental picture. Then when you connect that door panel up to it, that sucker's going to sound really good. Hopefully I got all that information across to you. Do I set my DSP by ear or microphone? I started out setting it by with an RT RTA. I started out setting it with an RTA, and I spent several years using RTA and RTA mics. But I've gotten now to where my ear has been trained long enough that I can set it by ear. If I'm playing music that I'm very familiar with, I can set it by ear. I usually set it by ear, and I'll pull up an RTA, a simple RTA, like on my tablet, just to see if there's anything that's way out of whack. Because sometimes after a long tuning session, your brain starts to do weird shit with sound, and your ears just kind of get broken. So I'll pull out an RTA on a phone or something like that just to look at it and see if anything looks way off. But most of the time, I'm pretty good. If you're just starting out, though, you absolutely want to use an RTA until you've trained yourself to know what sound sounds like, what different pitches sound like, and what band. Like, if you hear a sound, do you know what frequency that is? If you can't listen to a frequency and name that frequency or get real close to it, you're not ready to do tuning by ear. You can't tune by ear until you can do that. You have to be able to get ballpark each frequency that you hear and be able to name it. Once you get to that point, then you can hear a song and go, oh, that's way too hot. And you can go right to that frequency and adjust it. But if you can't name it, you can't adjust it. You're just moving shit around and making a mess. That's the way it is. Um, Crotchfield says. Uh, oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Grandpa's Cracos still exist out there. If you go, you know, hell, even most of the really cheap 6x9s are going to sound better than the good stuff back in the day. I mean, even like back in the day, if you wanted to buy the good shit, it was usually Pioneer or Kenwood. That was your top brands. Um, if you were paying Pioneer money, you usually got a pretty decent one. But even those 6x9s weren't as good a sounding or as well done as the ones that are on the cheaper spectrum now. So yeah, it's a big difference. Craco was one of the mid tier brands. Then you had Roadmaster and a few others that Walmart carried. And that's what most people think of, that sound that they played, and it was not good. What's up, Stu? Nice to see you. Showed up. We are still doing stuff. Fuego said W is still rocking the Explode by nines. Hell yeah, man. Um, let's see here. I'm going to jump down here. 6x9 speaker baffles, yay or nay? I read it really helps counteract the bass from your subs. 6x9 speaker baffles. Counteract the bass from your subs. The context is what I'm losing. I need more context here. I'm not sure what you're talking about exactly. Where are these baffles? Why are they interacting with subs? Um, Give me more context. Michael said, my car has 5x7 and a 3-inch woofer in the same spot. A 5x7 and a 3-inch woofer. I don't understand how that happened. Um, First of all, I don't understand the 3-inch woofer in a car. I'm guessing you mean like a mid or something. Um, no, you could go a really good choice in a 5x7 is Alpine Type R 5x7. It's one of my favorite 5x7s. Um, and then you could go to shit, man. If you put an Alpine Type R coaxial in that 5x7 hole, you can just eliminate that 3-inch, whatever it is. Those Type R's get down. But you could always put a middler in there, or just disconnect it and leave the one that's in there, but not playing, or let it play. I don't know. It's probably going to get blown if you're upgrading. I don't know. I need more input. Not really going to get much gain 5x7 and 6x9. Absolutely. I agree. 6x9 speaker baffles, yeah or nay? Yeah. Remember JC Whitley speakers? I never used JC Whitley speakers. I know I remember JC Whitley, but I don't remember this. They had speakers. Um, Stu said DSP tuning with a mic and some software offers some other benefits as well, such as phase alignment, especially if you're trying to set up imaging. Yeah, that's true. That shows you whenever you have two frequencies that are helping each other or cutting each other. Again, there's a point to where you can. I don't want to say I'm perfect at it, but you'd be surprised. You do it enough times and you start to hear it. You start to hear that phase cancellation. You can hear it by moving your head left to right in your car. And if you can't hear that, then you're not ready to tune by ear. But if I'm sitting in a car listening to a song, I can move my head to the left and to the right, and I can hear the phase cancellation in parts of the song. I can hear that. and I can tell what frequencies it is, which is kind of bonkers. And I'm a bass head. That's the really bonkers crap. I mean, I'm out here freaking doing 150s up in the high 50s in my shit, and dropping these huge amounts of bass, and I still have enough ear left to be able to hear phase cancellation at 200 hertz or at 1,000 hertz or at 1,500 hertz or 15,000 hertz. It's really bonkers. But yeah, if you're not lucky enough to have that programmed into your brain, you absolutely need a DS, need a uh, uh, RTA. If you don't know what an RTA is, I'm making an assumption. I shouldn't make those. RTA is a real time analyzer. It's basically a thing that shows you all the little bouncy lines, and you can use a mic on that, and you mic your listening position, and you can see what your ears will be hearing at that position on the screen. Ultimately, you don't want to create a flat response, but you don't want to have big spikes or big dips. You want it to be either kind of flat-ish, kind of maybe a rolling hill kind of a thing, where everything is kind of smooth. Even if there's a boost down here, you want it to gently go up to that boost and then come back down from that boost. You don't want to have this big, and stuff like that. So RTA will allow you to get that nice kind of smoothness. That's where my ear excels at. What he's talking about is collisions. If you have a wave coming in that's on its peak and a wave coming in that's on its trough where it's going down, a positive amplitude and a negative amplitude, you're going to have cancellation. It literally won't be able to hear either one of them. They'll cancel each other. Or if you have two that are coming in and they're both on their peak at the same point at your head, you're going to hear a boost in that frequency. As soon as you lean to the left or right, though, you're going to hear a reduction in that frequency. There's a lot of tricky business going on when it comes to tuning. Lincoln Mark 4, Mark 2 JBLs. Okay, let me back up here. 5x7 and 3. Oh, I got you. I don't know. Let me back up some more. Make sure I'm not missing anything else. Okay. Had to make references to what you said before. Yeah, those Bose, JBL, what Harman Kardon, all those the speakers that they put in a car, stock, are not the same as the stuff that they make for to sell. They're totally not the same. Um, let's see here. Just wondering if I should add speaker baffles if it helps in any way, or just leave the 6x9s by themselves. Baffles. See what a speaker baffle. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I think. So a speaker baffle is the thing that you mount the speaker on. That whatever that surface is, that has a hole in it for you to put your driver in, that's the baffle. So I think you're talking about is like the little cup that goes around behind it. You're going to sacrifice some mid bass, quite a bit of mid bass, actually a whole lot of mid bass, but it does protect the driver. I usually, if I'm going to suggest those things, I suggest them on small speakers because they're not going to be producing much bass anyway, and it's going to help keep other resonances from hurting the speaker's cone when it's trying to do its job. But for a bi-9, no, don't do that. Just sound deaden the shit out of it, like I told you. Follow those directions exactly, and you'll have amazing bass response. Let's see what Stu has to say about this. Michael may be talking about the JBL setup. They had 5x7 plates with a tweeter and a mid in the housing. Oh, I got you. Oh, is that like the Impala? The Impala back deck speakers? They had that some kind of 6x9 with a little. Yeah, I bet you that's what he's talking about. It's very vehicle specific. I can't speak hard on that. I bet you there's a conversion plate at Crutchfield. Yeah, seal that one off and just put a hot little freaking set of Alpine Type R coaxials in there and put some power on them and prepare to get your rock on because they ain't gonna mess around. Yeah, okay. Hmm, that's crazy. There you go. Stu gave you the perfect answer. Yeah, yeah. You could do it if you got that extra space. You could do a coaxial, or not a coaxial. You could do a coaxial, or you could do a component set that has a base and 5x7s. Maybe a three-way set where you got a 5x7 and like a three. They make those. I don't. I have to go over to Crutchfield. Just look on Crutchfield for that. Tell them what car you have. They'll have a little thing for you to put your car in and all that stuff. You diddle doots. And then it'll give you a listing after you get done filling all that shit out. It'll give you a list of all kinds of stuff that fit in those doors. So you'll be able to easily find something. And if they don't have the thing that you want specifically, you can kind of Frankenstein it in there, but they'll also offer different parts to help convert things from one thing to another thing. It's a very handy website. Really, really handy website. I will say this though. First of all, you typically pay more for everything there, not by a lot, but by a little. However, they also a lot of times will include a whole lot of cool stuff in there for free. So you may pay more for the 6x9s or whatever it is you're buying, but you may be able to get the adapter plates to make them work in your vehicle for free. A lot of this, along with information on how to take your door apart and how to install the parts and how to disassemble. They have a lot of really cool stuff there. Go check them out. Um, yep, that's a totally doable thing. I'm late, but I made it. Yeah, Joseph, I had you on here a minute ago, man. You missed it. You had to go back and watch the video, but we did put your build up. Um, right at the beginning of the show. Stu said, welcome. And Paula had a 6x9 and a tweet that were actually bi-amp from the factory in the Bose amp. Yeah, I know that little Bose amp right in the middle of the back dash. Yeah. I just got recently been dealing with those because I had to build in Troy's car. We pulled all that crap out of there and plywooded the back deck, glued plywood and glued and screwed plywood down to the back deck. And then to totally make it hard and solid, and then put the material back on the inside to make it go away so you couldn't see it. Um, that was a good thing. We were building that trunk wall, so we had to seal that sucker off, and we did. We sealed it off good, but I had to get all that crap out of there, and that's where I spotted one of those. He only had one on one side. It was the other hole was empty, and the hole for the amp was empty. But I know that's what went there. Uh, Side note: a lot of times when if you've got a trunk build like that, if you're doing a trunk car, you can absolutely mount your 4 channel or even a 5 channel up a lot of times right up in the back on the back dash up underneath it. You can mount that sucker up under there. Just make sure that the spring mechanism that lifts your trunk up isn't going to hit the amp or get interfered with in any way. It's got those 2 bars that go across. You don't want to be involved in that. But as long as you can clear all that, it's a great location to put an amplifier for even for a trunk subwoofer setup or whatever, because it puts it up off the floor so it doesn't get wet whenever the trunk gets water in it, stuff like that. And also isn't involved in your packages you might be putting in there. And it gives you more space for your subwoofer enclosure to sit in there. Just a side note. I used to do that a lot. The only downside is, well, you had to watch for those springs, but you've also got to lay down in the trunk and like get up under there and work above your head like that. It's kind of weird, but the end result makes a really clean install. Um, and Joseph says, been a minute, been busy moving. I noticed that the lows on the Incredible Hulk did not come through, and I can play the lows on my system. So off your video, they were missing. I'm wondering if maybe your tuning was high or your microphone just didn't pick them up. I was wondering about that when we played it. But sounded amazing. Yeah, your mids and all sounded really good. Fourth order is coming. Took the face off a few hours ago. I'm going to be baseless for a little bit. That's such a sad place to be, man. I hate going to that place. That place sucks. The no bass place. Ugh. I got earphones. I'll put those in. I got to have my bass. I got bass in my studio. Got bass. Not these. These things suck. I got my little bassy earphones, wherever the hell they are. Oh, these little guys. I love these things. Check them out. So they come in this little box here, and you watch the front of the box. Watch the front. When I pull one of them out, as soon as I pull it out, see that light come on? Yeah, yeah. The little thing it's already connected to my phone. As soon as I pull it out of here, and when I put them in, when I put them back in, it disconnects from the phone and it starts charging them. So it's really neat. I love it, man. Technology is awesome. I love the Chinese people. Uh, My great money said I have a Dodge Magnum. Is it necessary to get? Oh my goodness, you're going vehicle specific again. Is it necessary to get? Okay, the Stadium 6x9s for the two rear locations. No, just leave those suckers dead. You don't need speakers in there at all. Um, all the way to the tailgate, or can I just use club 6x9s in the back? Yeah, just whatever. You don't want to put any effort into those rears. You're only going to get about 20% of your sound from the rear anyway, and it's going to screw with your staging. So if you want to put something in there, just use the clubs. The stadiums are where to go on the front, though. That's where the real power comes in. Uh, I'm loving this too. Custom shop design kicker, Comp Q15 sub box, amazing output on 1,000 watts. I don't know if you guys. I still have some videos up. When I was running my 412 build, my under the window build, before I put the wall back there, I was running four 12-inch, uh, 500 watts per subs. I just freaked out because I saw Jason behind me. Y'all, that's funny, man. I'm like, what? Oh, that's Jason. Never mind. Caught my eye. I was like, why the hell is somebody behind me? Yeah, I know. I'm an old man. Y'all leave me alone. Anyway, what the hell was I talking about? Let me read the last question. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I had those four 12s back there. I had them on two 1,000 watt amplifiers, two Memphis 1,000.1s, and they were the mid tier Memphis, the ones with the blue stripe going across the front, the blue lights that go across the front. Yeah, and I was doing a 150, a 149 or a 150. It depended on how you measured it and everything, but it was right at that 150 range on 2,000 watts. And I could have got a lot louder than that if I had done some different stuff, but I wanted it to be substantially louder, so I had to go a different direction. That said, if you have enough wattage and if you have enough wattage to power the driver to move the full excursion and do its full job, you're going to get a huge amount of what that driver's capable of. You can always get more with more power. Because it's going to be power limited. It's not going to fully utilize the potential. But that said, you can get a whole lot with a little bit of power. It's all in the box. And if Stu built your box, you're going to get a shit ton of efficiency out of that box. He builds shit right. I like Stu. He's a good builder. Oh goodness. It says, hell yeah, Flakes. Corey did a killer job getting that thing built, doing your setup. Awesome. Cha-ching, cha-chia. That's what he said. It took me a second to realize what he was saying. Cha-cha-cha-chia. Yeah, that's it. Um, I'll play it one more time, Joseph. Check it out. We'll go back over to Joseph. Maybe. I don't know. I'm probably screwing this up. I usually screw things up. Oh, there he is, right there. He's
My
hiding.
name is David Banner, and I'll spend the rest of my life running from myself.
Walk alone, shadow in the night, trying to hide from the monster inside. Every face, every town I pass, fear the rage that I cannot suppress. Friends don't stay, love turns away. Every heartbeat fights another day. Chains unseen, I wear them still. Life's a war I can't ever kill. Piano cries
Oh
while the
yeah,
night
man.
grows cold. Let a story broken untold. Hulk inside, it's a storm I hide. Running forever. No.
Yo, you got to respect them doors, man. He did a good job on those doors. They sound great. And he's talking about rebuilding everything. Uh, hell yeah, dude. Just 1 second. I'm going to show you guys something. Catch it here. This is not. This is not on the internet anywhere yet. So you guys will be the first ones to hear this track. And let me tell you the story first. I want you to know the story. Um, you're very welcome. You're very welcome, Joseph. Years ago, now I was a teenager. It's been a long time ago. My friend, I had a really good friend that I grew up with. Um, he was always a kind guy and everything, a good-hearted person. My people were always like that. I keep people like that in my life. Even when I was a youngster, I wasn't stupid. I kept good-hearted people in my life. Well, he got married, and then something happened to his brain around this woman. he he was abusive to her, and I got in the middle of it a lot over and over again. I ended up throwing him through a window once, the kitchen window. You know, kitchen windows are above the sink. Okay, I threw him through that window out into the yard. Um, this house had a good sized crawl space too, so y'all know this was a drop. Anyway, we had some go rounds between. I got in between him and her on many occasions. Well, she finally had enough of it. I had moved out because with me intercepting him all the time, she started getting the hots for me. And I was like, nope, this ain't going to work. And I was living there for a little bit. I was staying with them for a few months, helping pay bills and stuff because there was, everybody was kind of struggling. So we were just kind of living together. But she started with that. And I was like, no, I got to go. So I left. As soon as that started happening, she started coming at me. I grabbed my shit and took off. I was homeless for like 2 weeks after that, but I survived. That's not important. She A year or two after that, she ended up leaving him. He went pretty much crazy, as you can imagine. He was very, very, very deeply in love with her and went crazy. And he got past that to a small extent. He ended up picking up a girlfriend. He was always with somebody because he's one of those guys that just could not live without a female in his life. And a lot of people are like that. I'm sure you guys know all about that. But anyway, his last girlfriend that he was with had left him. She had gotten enough of him too, as one does. So he calls up this girl. Um, he can call her. He sent her a text message. He said, "Is there basically to cut it short? He said, is there any way that you would possibly take me back?" And she said, no. And I don't know exactly how the next part happened, but the next day they found him in the trailer where he lived. and he had shot himself, gun, mouth. That stuff had happened, and they found him in the living room floor. Um, so, yeah, it was a pretty much a train wreck of a situation. Well, I was um, I just randomly started thinking about it, and I was like, I just got to get this out of my system. So this is where this song came from. It isn't the exact story, but it come from the same place. So y'all listen to this and tell me what you think. This is the first time this will be played anywhere.
I don't know where it all went so wrong. Baby, I lost control. Where did you get that scar? I still remember the front porch fight. I recall it all like it was tonight. Her tear-stained face, her bloodshot eyes, a trembling hand as she waved goodbye. I'm on this train now, I'm all alone. I loved her so. Where'd I go so wrong? The evening train headed out of town. Don't look back, we're making ground. She said goodbye and drove away. I'm on this train, but my heart will stay. The whistle screams as the night rolls by. I see her shadow in the window light. I hear her laugh, feel her hand in mine. God, she held me through the hardest times. I broke her trust with my angry ways, kept telling her I'd change someday. Now this train is taking me far away. Could I have changed? Should I have stayed? The evening train headed out of town. Don't look back, we're making ground. She said goodbye and drove away. I'm on this train, but my heart will stay. The miles roll on, but the pain won't fade. There was love in the life we made. I'd give my soul just to turn back time, take back the nights I lost my mind. But some mistakes you can't undo, and running's all that's left to do. It hurts to leave, but I can't stay. Gonna ride this train so far away. Maybe someday she'll find some peace, a gentle heart who lets her breathe. And if she dreams of me at night, I hope it's me from the better times. The best thing I did for her was to push her away. She deserves a better man. Now I'm far away.
What's up, man? What's up, Anthony?
The evening train headed out of town. Don't look back, we're making ground. She said goodbye and drove away. I hope she's fine, I hope and pray.
So what do y'all think about that? What's up, Cadillac Don? I told y'all this shit was deep, man. It sits heavy in my heart. to this day. That's been, man, 12, 13 years ago. This shit sits heavy in my heart to this day, man. I can't. You don't lose that. I was talking to a friend of mine and about those heavy traumatic experiences we go through in life, and people say that it gets easier, it gets less bad. It doesn't. You just get better at dealing with it. It becomes normal. It becomes normal to have pain in your heart, and you get used to the pain. It doesn't go away. You just get used to it being there. And all he had to do was make one phone call, bro. And that was like a 3 hour, 4 hour drive. If he'd have called me, even if he called me and hung up as soon as I answered the phone, I'd have went down there. I would have left immediately and went down there to check on him. He didn't want, he didn't want no one to stop him. He didn't want help. He just wanted out. And I don't even know where to go, man. Sorry. This is just the shit that I live with. Every day I live with this shit. I live with this pain. And if you're somebody out there that's listening to this now or listening to it in the future, if you feel like there's no way out, you feel like you're trapped and there's no other options, man, call anybody. I mean, shit, call me, you know, um, because I promise you, this will pass. Whatever it is you think you can't live through, that shit will pass. And you'll look back on it later and go, why was I even caught up in that? You know, um, the things that you're going to do to yourself, you're going to lose all the potential that you had. You're going to make everybody around you sad. They're all going to miss you. They're all going to think that they did something to cause that. You know, don't do that. Call somebody because you will be happy that you did later. It will pass. Now that I've gone down that road, I'm going to try to get back into car audio. I needed to get that out of my system. Um, let's see here. Oh my goodness. Um, okay, El Fuego said my next build is a window height 4 comp gold 12s on. I don't think that number doesn't exist, Fuego. You did weird stuff. I'm guessing you're saying 2100 watts. Oh yeah, you could do a one if you get a good box build, and you're giving it 2000 watts on 412s. You're gonna get an easy 45, man. You're gonna bust 45 easy on that. Um, that's not a problem. It's all about the box, and the box and the cabin tuning related to that box. But you can absolutely do that. You can get a 50 out of that, with everything just perfect. It's gonna be close. You ain't gonna bust 50 wide open, but you can scratch a 50 with that build. Old school Orion amps, Fuego. Sent you some pics, Bobby. Bobby, you didn't send them to me, Bobby. I ain't got no pics from you. You're fired. Wait a minute, let me check. No, oh, Bobby ain't sent me shit. So, pooey on you and your Disney World goats. Um, let's see here. Sorry, Stu. That's just a track, man. It's a track. It's what we deal with. Yeah, absolutely. Tomorrow will be better for real, man. Um, Joseph said I lost a high school friend the same way. You know, I'm going to try to stay away from the emotional side of this a little bit. But love is like a drug. Your body becomes accustomed to having someone in your life, and when that person goes away, it screws up your entire metabolism. Your whole body goes haywire. It's like taking a drug away from somebody. Um, and it can affect you the same way you would have withdrawals from a narcotic. Um, the thing is, though, it will go away. You'll get past that. Your body will adjust to that, and your mind will adjust to it. For most people, some people, I guess it doesn't, because it was a good solid. He had a good solid 10 or 12 years to get past her, and he didn't. He was just, I don't know, man. He's a broken man. That's all I can tell you. And guys, I hate to say this, but I've lost multiple friends the same way. And so this shit stacks up, man. It's like no matter which direction I turn in my mind, I end up at this place. You know what I'm saying? And that sucks. Uh, I've actually written a couple songs about this subject, but yeah, group consensus, mid range, and pillars or dash. It depends on the window. If the windshield has got a so if you can draw a line from your eyes and to the windshield straight ahead, and you can see a reflection of the speaker in the windshield, and basically think like a pool table. Okay, if you can make a bank shot from your eyeball to the window and then go straight down, and it would bounce off the window and go down into the pocket where the mid sits, it's going to sound good. But if you can't do that, if the windshield doesn't allow for that, it's going to sound crappy. And I'll give you an example of a real rough guess here. If it's a pickup truck, it's probably not going to sound too good because the mid's going to hit the glass and then go up over your head. You're going to lose it. It's going to get lost. But if it's a car with a more lean back windshield, odds are that mid's going to hit you right in the ear hole. So it depends on the glass, how much tilt it has, whether or not they work in the dash. Um, and that goes for tweeters too, but not as much because tweeters have a much wider dispersal pattern. Their off-axis response is really good, and also they reflect really easy. Hard surfaces reflect tweeter splash, and so you can handle that frequency up high. The mid is the key speaker, though. No matter what else you do in the car, your mid, if you have a little 3-inch mid, that sucker needs to be either directly reflected and coming back to your ears, or it needs to be lined up with your ears, because that's where like 70% of the music is going to come from, is those mids. And they need to be on point as much as you can make them. The closer you can get to having those suckers up on the A pillars or on the dash, the better. Um, so, like I said, that's my opinion. Is it depends on the angle of the windshield, and also is the dash mounting location a solid one that's going to provide a good a good baffle. So you don't want to have mids can get around stuff too. You don't want to have the mids coming around from behind the dash and getting involved in the front of the cone because you have cancellations. That's where you wind up with those low frequency cancellations, like 150 hertz up to like 300 hertz. Those lower frequencies are actually pretty long, and they can get back around and cancel. So you need a good sealed up environment that separates the back of that speaker from the front, or you need a pod that has them wrapped in behind so that their sound stays separated, or you'll wind up with a low response in the bottom part of your RTA from those, and that's going to give you a hole because your doors are going to play too, but they're down low and they're not aimed at your head, so you're going to lose that response area is going to be a hole in your RTA graph. You have to protect that. That's the weakest spot in a car audio setup, is between 150 and 300 hertz. That's where everything dies. If you're going to have a problem, it's going to be right there. Um, W said pillars for me. Yeah, I like pillars. Like I said, it depends on the glass. Who else is vote? So Tanky, where is he at? I'm looking through here, looking for anybody that hadn't spoke up. Frank. Real Cisco said, it's one that's going to require my balls to read, my eyeballs, not my balls, but my eyeballs. I don't read with my testicles. I read with my opticals. Okay. 3200 watt, 15. D1 on 2300 watts. Wired at one amplifier per coil. Strap amplifiers or just match gain. Okay. So you got a dual one, okay, on two 2300 watt amps. Okay. So, all right. I'm catching up with what you're putting down. I'm deciphering it. I would strap them if you're running 2 amps on one sub and you can strap them, by all means strap them son bitches for sure. You're going to get way better control and a way better match setup. Matching gain is only really the option whenever you can't strap them. That's going to be a loud ass sub. That's a lot of power on that. Okay. And Great Money said 3.5 versus a 4-inch for mids. Is there a difference? Yes, there is a difference. But when you're playing mids, a 3.5, it can really do even a 2.5 can do a good job with mids. So there's definitely a difference. The frequency range is going to be affected. But the thing is, you're not going to be trying to play them at the edge of their frequency range. So it's more about what fits in your setup better. If you can fit a 3.5 to a 3.5, if you could fit a 4 where you're going to go, then a 4 is going to be better. It's the optimal choice. But it all depends on what fits in your location. Yeah, I see Stu's answer. It looks like he's on the same level. I said balls, Frank. Let's see here. Stu said it's supposed to be the perfect size for mids, but 3.5 should be close enough. Really should notice the difference between the speakers of the same brand and series. Exactly. Especially since you should be crossing those over much higher than the lowest frequency response of the 3.5. So, yeah, it's more important that you get them mounted in the right location and aimed correctly. That's more important than the diameter of the driver, and that you got the DSP set up to where you have them crossed over right and you have them EQ'd right. Those things are all going to make way more difference than the 1/2 inch of the driver. And I don't have enough. Knowledge to get into cone filtering, so I'm going to leave that one on the table. Thank you so much. Appreciate the advice. Been a subscriber for a while. Thank you. I love the base head advice. Trying to step up to the big leagues. Oh, son. The big leagues is a wide territory, man. It's a wide territory. It's not like a specific line that you cross where all of a sudden you're in the big leagues. When you start busting out your credit card, you're pretty much in the big leagues at that point. Yeah, it absolutely is, too. Some things you just can't change. I appreciate it, Underground Car Audio. I'll do the best I can. Stu says time alignment is key with mids and tweets. Phase alignment is what you want to use. Okay, hold on. Mids and is what you want to use with mid bass and sub. Yeah, when you get into phase alignment's more important whenever you're playing low frequencies than it is in high frequencies. For sure. It's far more noticeable. And also, like I said, when you're sitting like this and you lean 2 inches to the right or left, you're going to be changing phase alignments. Tons of phases are going to happen when you do that on mids and highs, but it's not going to change much at all on low frequencies. So that's the key. Using a mic for alignment. Stu, what do you do? Joseph. My son just got this thing playing on the TV at 75 inches of TV. Now it's like I'm face to face. It's like you're face to face with a giant me. Do you ever feel like somebody is watching you? Yeah. Looking into your living room. I'm looking at your dog. Yeah. Yeah. I can't imagine being on a big ass screen. It would scare the hell out of me. And it would definitely scare my cats. Oh, goodness gracious alive. We have broken things. I don't know if you guys have heard this yet, but I'm going to play it. I got to go make a run. So, I hadn't played that one. Hey, it is coming up on the holidays. You know what? Screw it. We're going to play it. I'm going to play this. I got to make a little run, took a little break, so I'm going to leave you guys. I'm going to leave you guys to enjoy this ridiculous thing that I did. Be right back.
Jingle bass drop. Jingle bells shake while the low notes pop. Snowflakes swirling as the beat rolls on. Now the jingle bass parade is on. Jingle bass roll. The chiming bells blend with the heart of the soul. The bass is dropping on down the street to that frosty beat. What a bright time, it's the right time to let the music play. Jingle bass time is a fun time. Team Savage sound is on display. Key it up, play it loud. Feel that beat, jingle around the street. Team Savage sounds is bringing the beat. That's a jingle bass street. Jingle bass cheer. Holiday joy ringing far and near. Lights are shining as the rhythm flows. Every step the excitement grows. Jingle bells sparkle with a warm bright tone. Bassline humming with a style of its own. Laughing and tapping as we pass along to the jingle bass song. What a bright time, it's the right time to let the music play. Jingle bass time is a fun time. Team Savage sound is on display. Key it up, play it loud. Feel that beat, jingle around the street. Team Savage sounds is bring the beat. That's a jingle bass street. Jingle bells shake while the low notes pop. Snowflakes swirling as the beat rolls on, and the jingle bass parade is on. Jingle bass, jingle bass, jingle bass roll. Chiming bells blend with the heart of the soul. The bass is dropping on down the street to that frosty beat.
Y'all like the jingle bass? Boys have a preen and girls have a migrainer. It's not a tumor. Let's see here. What did we miss? Oh, well, we missed quite a bit. Okay. 100%. Yep. Mics are clinical. W knows no time alignment. Mono knows no time alignment. That's not true, actually. Mono is affected by time alignment. Just ask any sound engineer setting up for a concert. It's all mono. Concerts are in mono. With a very few exceptions. For instance, AC/DC will use a sound wall on both sides to do certain songs where they have a hard pan or left or right for guitars and stuff. But most of the show is done completely in mono. I got buddies that run mono. They have mono front stages. The thing is, though, you can separate and run two mono channels, and then you can time align it and pull the mono collection to the front of you. If you're just wanting the center of the dash, you're going to get that with mono without time alignment. But if you're wanting it centered on the driver, time alignment will do it. Also, time alignment is relevant for subwoofers to get your subs to fire at the same as your mids so that your bass gets pulled forward in your mix. Let's see here. Thank you, Rick. I had to bust out a little Santa Claus. I'm basically a Scrooge. My wife and I both. We don't really celebrate any holidays, to be speaking of. I mean, we go to Taco Bell for Thanksgiving. I mean, come on. That's the only real thing we do every year. Go to my sister's for Christmas, but we just go there and visit. We don't put no trees up or do anything. Hadn't done that in years. Stu said, all a mic will do is show you the information that's happening. It's up to the tuner to interpret that. Absolutely. I think of a mic as kind of a stabilizer. You know, I can hear a lot, but being able to look at it helps me zero it in sometimes. So, A Very Twisted Christmas by Twisted Sister. That sounds fun. My sister had a CD when I was young that had a whole bunch of different musicians doing Eagles songs. And it was a Christmas album too. Or was it a Christmas album? I don't think it was a Christmas album. It was like a whole bunch of bands did tribute songs to the Eagles. That wasn't a Christmas album. That sucker was juking though. That album sounded amazing. I don't remember what it was called. There's a whole lot of people, different artists, country music, mostly country music people doing tributes, doing all of them doing Eagles songs. That sounded so good. Jangle Bell. Ideally, yeah. You want to try to put your mic, well, since you've only got one, you want to put it like where the center of your head is. Like in there where I can't touch, in the middle. That's not ideal because especially high frequencies, they'll change a lot from here to here, right? From here to here, big change in frequencies. You're going to have totally different frequencies happen in the center of your head than you would at your ears. That's why a lot of the high end guys will use binaural uh, ears. They use a little thing with ears on it. Um, have you ever seen that mannequin ear thing? Yeah, because it's more accurate. Plus, your ears have shapes to them. Your earlobes, your ear, the ridges are called something. I can't remember what they're called, but those things, the thing that Mike Tyson bit off, there's a shape to that. And that shape determines how your brain interprets the sounds that goes in that ear hole. That's how you can hear this, this, and this, and tell where that is in space, right? It's because of those ear flaps. Don't try something crazy. Get some Play-Doh or some silly putty and pack it around the outside of your ear hole, just up in your ear, and then start doing that same thing, and your brain will totally be fried. It won't have any idea where this or this is at. It messes it all up. When did I become a tuner? Tuner! I read that, and my brain, that's why I was laughing when I read it earlier. I know what he meant, but the first thing in my brain popped in is like a fish. Yeah. Oh, that Dubby said it too. A tuna. Yeah. I saw the it's not a tumor. I didn't see the tuna thing. It's not a tumor. Uh, hell yeah. Boys have a preen and girls have a migrainer. That's going to crack me up for a while, man. Want the mic stationary to the listening position for the time alignment and phase alignment. The moving mic is useful for frequency measurement. Yeah. See, if you're trying to do the whole car, um, most people are. They want to have the whole car to sound right. But if you're the only one that ever rides in your car, the binaural in one seat is fine. If you just want it to sound the best where you're at, you don't care about what other people think, you don't have to. Bose sub cutoffs are so high that they can't use aux feeds. Yes, it is. And the best way to get bass in the front, put a sub in the front. In case y'all are wondering, I'm getting down some sweet and spicy. Every now and again, I get a craving for hot stuff. Let's see something here, Frank. Drive backwards. I appreciate it, Car Audio Obsessed. Drive backwards. Yeah. Joseph sent me some pics. Hang on a second. Let me see what we have. That is not it. Close that. Hang on a minute. I don't know what kind of stuff I'm going to open up on here because I have other people that send me stuff, and I don't like to put anybody out there that doesn't want to be out there. So, okay. Well, that's a Santa Claus picture. Oh, that's you? Holy shit, it is. Hang on. Hey, y'all, check Joseph out. Hang on. I'm pulling back up. Is that the right one? Yeah, that's him. There's Joseph. There you go. He's headed to do this. See, I want to sit on Mrs. Claus's lap. My wife would get a kick out of that. Check him out. He's rocking and rolling. That's pretty cool, bro. I straight up need to do that. I get away with it. By next year, I'll have enough beard to do Santa Claus. I know it's a strap on, but you know. Oh man, let's see here. That sounds fun. When you reverse, things come up from behind you, right? Talking about backing down the highway. Bobby B's custom RCA's looking very pro. Hell yeah. Michael said, my wife just ordered me a Christmas present. Slapz, SmackDown 12, and a Shock 5K. Oh yeah, that's going to be solid, man. That's going to be chooching right along. Even Stu agrees with me. She sounds like an awesome wife. I tell you the story about what my wife did one day. The one that I've never forgotten this. And I still haven't forgotten this. So like, y'all gonna be jealous. I want to tell you about now. Y'all gonna be jealous as hell. So I walked into the living room and I asked my wife. I said, "Should I do 6 15s or 8 15s?" And our first question was, "Is 8 all that fits?" I said, "Eight's on the outside of what could possibly fit." She said, "8 then." That's classic. Um, Fuego said 12. Yeah. Fuego said, I have I have a JL 8W3 laying around. Damn right. I have a JL 8W or DL 10W2 in my is that W2 or W3? It may be a W3 in my center console under my dash. It thinks it's a mid bass driver. It's tuned for one. It does a good job. Fuego, if you put that in a really small sealed enclosure, it will get quite high, and will really pull that mid bass in the front into a happy spot. Uh, I got to get back to playing Fallout 4. I gotta order that damn game. I've been itching to play Fallout 4 for a while. Carl the Obsessed also recognized Big D Wiz, one of their top 25s. Yes, it was. I saw that. I watched the whole damn thing. I didn't. There's a few on there that I didn't see that I kind of would have liked to have seen. But yeah, he hit. I found out about a few that I didn't know about. Some of those guys got real good content. Uh, I was actually kind of surprised that I was on there. Um, just a little bit. And the reason is I didn't think that Big D was taking much note of my channel. So uh, that's the reason I did figure I'd be on there. Uh, yeah, right. Cardio says yes. Is me too. New channels. Hell yeah. Um, what's up? Unban my 360. Sounds like you were doing some aimbotting or something. I don't know why I picked up on that, but I bet you I nailed it. I picked up 4 8 ohm, 2 6s with boxes for $200. I have no idea what a 2226 is, my friend. I should know. I'm guessing that's for drivers. Am I missing something? What am I missing? I don't know. It's a long story. I told you he was running a damn aimbot. I bet you it was an aimbot. Uh, so Stu says, just sent you the final pics of that. Oh, let me go see what Stu's got going on. Hang on. I see. Oh, guys. Get ready for some juicy stuff, man. Get ready for some serious juice. All right. Let me fix this. There we go. This is some of the some picks from Stu. Final picks of this Ford F-150. First of all, just look at that. Now I'm not going to jump straight off of this. I want you to take in this picture. Look at the cleanness of these wire runs. How very neat this all is. Pay attention to all of that. And look at the details on this box, the positioning of everything. Look how clean the carpet is right here. You realize how hard that is to happen? That takes a very serious level of, I'm going to make this work. Let's see, is that the right direction? There's a closer shot of the amp. I love it. Tessa tape makes the wires look factory. And pull in these other wires from behind. Okay. That's nice work. And check that out. That's the icing on the cake right there. And I'm going to tell y'all, as much work as you think he put into that, yeah, multiply that shit by about 10. There's a ton of work that went into this logo. Beautiful. Beautifully done. There's the wiring up front. Nice little kicker fuse in there. And notice how I paid attention to making this wire come around and make this nice circle. Nice, smooth transitions. I mean, this is the little stuff like this is what makes the build look better. You could have run that wire shorter, but it would have looked forced. It could have went like, yeah, but no. He made it a nice, smooth, sweeping curve. And he also, attention to detail, the kicker logo will be correct if you're reading it from the angle. All these little things add up to making a build look right. I'm going to pick on you, though. I don't know if I can or not, but I think I can. So this cover right here, I typically, if I'm going to use these, I typically cut out for the wire to go through it, depending on what the person that owns the vehicle wants. But if I'm doing it and I'm allowed to, I'll do a cutout so that the thing sits down on there flat. There's the F-150. And the easiest way to make that cutout is with a soldering iron. Just kind of burnt and melt a little bit of it down at the bottom so that it kind of sits different. That'll make the cleanest looking cutout. All right, we got our, look at him. See, he's got the papers in here. You don't want to get the floor dirty. That's respect for your people, your customer right there. I love seeing that. I love seeing that stuff. And notice how clean this vehicle is too. He's maintained this vehicle at a absolutely immaculate level while he's doing this work. This is a shit that separates, a general installer from somebody who's actually taking it to the next level. Is those types of details. Yeah, I saw what you said, Stu. That kind of stuff, it just depends on, like you said, what you can get away with. Let's see here. Was out jamming? Let me figure out where I was. James. Yeah, Cardio Obsessed said, me too, new channels. Yep. Heck yeah. You bring it every day. I do my best, man. I don't always have the greatest content. Sometimes it's just me living my life. But you know, my channel is called Car Audio Enthusiast. It isn't. This is all car audio information. It isn't unboxing channel. It isn't. This is just me. I'm a car audio enthusiast, and this is my life. It's mostly car audio related, which my life is mostly car audio related. Sometimes we make macaroni and cheese too. I mean, I caught that. It's a long story. See, he's telling me about the thing now. It was a modded console that was flashed back to stock. Shit was banned. It was banned. Don't let him lie to you guys. He was using the aimbot. He was doing the 360 aimbot. He was tearing people up. Headshots all over the place. He's trying to hide behind them. Headshot. Most of you guys don't have any idea what I'm talking about, but I guarantee you he does. All right, let's see. Stu's custom shop said, oh yeah, the kicker. Yeah, that was the setup. That thing's fire, dude. Looked great. Great work. But you already know if I see anything, I'm going to pick on you. Because here's the thing, whenever you do amazing work, all of a sudden your eye is forced to anything that's not perfect. Anything. So yeah, I have to pick on him. I got to give you something to improve. I mean, shit, you'd tear my build apart, dude. You would the build level that I do is way below what you do. Way, way, way below. You would rip me to shreds. So I know what it's supposed to look like. I know what perfection looks like. That doesn't mean that I actually do it most of the time. I do my best when I'm doing work for somebody else, but I don't charge. That's the other thing. Someone posted up, people, random comments like, would you do that to a customer's car? Or why would you do this in a customer's car? I'm like, I don't have customers. I have friends. I have people that show up and say, hey, can you help me with this? I'm like, sure. That's how we do it. I don't have, nobody gets charged for the stuff that I do. I don't charge a single penny for any of the stuff I do for people. Not 1 cent. The general consensus is you give me a list of the crap that you need to do this job. I'll tell you what to get. And if there's any extra crap left over, I keep it. But I don't ask to keep it. They just leave it with me. That's just how it usually works. I pick up scraps of this and that and the other. And then whenever somebody else comes over and they need something else done, if I have any stuff in my scrap pile, I burn that first. I give back. It's just, you're just passing it on to the next person, essentially. That's how I do it. Oh, yeah. It said someone went online with a burned copy and it's flagged for life. I bet there's a way around that. It's going to require some software stuff, though. Freaking Microsoft, dude. But you know how many times I screwed Microsoft out of operating system money over the years? How many people used one version of Windows XP or Windows 2000? How many thousands of people used the same damn code to open up? Microsoft's been getting hit for a long time, so they kind of got to. They've been beaten to the point to where they're gun shy, man. They hide behind everything. So it took you a while. Yeah, it did. I bet you Bobby takes a lot longer. Bobby's got to stop every once in a while and go milk goats, And Stu said I generally trim those too, but it's a 25 model, so I didn't want to intrude too much. But yeah, like I said, my trick is a soldering iron. You just come up from the bottom with the soldering iron, and when you get close to it, it'll start pulling away. You don't even got to touch it. You just get close, it'll start pulling away, and it makes a perfect little curve to fit down That's how I've always done it. Because the first time I did it with a pair of scissors or something, I mean, you can make a hole, but it always looks kind of raggedy if you look close. But the soldering iron trick makes a perfect little smooth transition that goes right over your wire. I bet you I just dropped that shit on you. You had never thought of that. When you go stew type build, calibrate your expectations to your budget. Hey, man, that's the truth too. Really, it is. If your budget's too low, if your budget's low, you can expect less attention to detail. But there should always be a minimum of it's going to work and it's going to be reliable and it's going to be neat. That's going to happen regardless of the expectations. Now, how much time you put into making it pretty, that's where the money comes in. Be prepared to go south. I got one of the things for the controller. Call of Duty action. Yeah, you caught on to it. See, I was thinking some of you guys are going to know what I'm talking about, and others are going to be like, "What the hell is he talking about?" Aimbot. Yeah. Well, that's a problem. I mean, um, yeah. I honestly, I'm a PC gamer. I don't screw around with consoles, so consoles are always been locked up tight, and just kind of, yeah, it's kind of like a disposable computer, and I can game on this thing. I can play any game on this thing, and it can do things into the future that console won't be able to do. I can do things from the past that console won't be able to do. That's why I've always been leaned away from consoles and stuck to PC gaming. It's just I'm a PC master race kind of guy. Stu said, yeah, the shop life's a whole different ball game. Lots of decisions made every day that customers never know. Yep. And lots of overhead. Yep. And most of it's time and little bitty tiny things. That's the thing. It's little bitty pieces, you know. Little bitty pieces, man. He said you got it back online, but it was temporary. They caught you. Huh? It happens. I've been there. We used to run. If you guys are familiar with World of Warcraft, we used to run bots for World of Warcraft. I didn't run bots to make money. Well, technically, I guess I kind of did. I ran a fishing bot to make money, but to make game money. But one of my favorite things to do was to do PvP with bots. And I'm gonna tell you, dude, a warlock in World of Warcraft that's set up on I forget what it's not. There's the pet one, and then there's the boom 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 one, and there's the curse one. I can't think of. Anyway, a warlock set up for curses that's running on a really good PvP bot is an absolute beast in a PvP battle. And I would turn that on and watch this warlock just destroy everybody. I got a kick out of doing that. It's like, why won't this warlock die? Oh my God. And me and my friend, we would play 2v2 sometimes and run bots. He ran on a priest, a shadow priest, and I ran on that warlock. It was an unstoppable combo, dude. But yeah, we got banned. We got banned several times, so I know all about that. Box cutter, yeah, that's what I used a box cutter to kind of. But the soldering iron makes a really pretty half circle. That's the thing. You can do some good stuff. Also, when it comes to working, here's another tip. When it comes to working soft materials like vinyl, sound deadener, carpet, rubbers and plastics that are real thin, look into a leather punch kit. The kits for doing leather work. those can be really, really good for certain things. Like you can use a leather punch circle one to punch perfectly round holes in vinyl to do whatever with. I mean, beautiful, perfect circles to punch holes in carpet, to punch holes in sound deadener. If you got a putting on deadener in a whole door and you want to punch out the little spots where the clips will go, if you got it all drawn out on, you need wood behind it. You can't do it on the metal; you'll damage the door. But you can use a little circle punches and different stuff out of a leatherworking kit to do really cool stuff with thin, soft materials. Maybe that'll open up your brain to one more little tool. The collection in my head is kind of insane. I've accumulated quite a lot of stuff like that. That's why I do what I do, because people ask weird questions, and I can often give you an answer that works for that weird question. Uh, oh yeah. Demo, Destro, Affliction. Yeah. Thank you, Trucker Jerry. I was trying to think of Affliction. Um, it's been a while. Mostly on PC. So I game on a PC as well. Have time emulator with lots of old NES games. It's my jam. Yeah, I'm wanting to get back into Fallout 4. So, and if you guys don't know, I mean, most of y'all probably don't even give a crap about gaming. So, but this is me, so we go all over the place. Fallout 4 is kind of a shooter, means you run around shooting stuff. It's kind of a shooter, but it also has a building element to it and an economy that you can build and do crazy stuff with. It's a sandbox ish game, meaning you can play it in many different types of ways, um, and it does all of the things pretty good. So I dig it. I get into it. That's what I'm going to get back into. So Trucker Jerry, are you getting close? You should be. No, you should be somewhere between Oklahoma City and Springfield. If I'm just guessing, right? Just guessing. You should be getting close to Springfield if you're not there. He's a truck driver by the name Trucker Jerry. You should be able to figure that out. Oh, by the way, I'm curious about something. I want y'all to tell me something here. Let me uh, let me get this to work. I'm gonna type something there. I want y'all to tell me what my name says, because I can't. I know everybody else had this problem with their name changing, uh, and I see it as car audio enthusiast. What did you guys see my name change? Oh, Big Cabin. Yeah, you're getting close. What do y'all see my name as in the chat over there? Stu says I had about 100+ hours in Fallout 4. Oh yeah, on the PS4. So yeah, Stu knows all about it. So I said some of you guys are going to know, and some of you be like, "What the hell is a Fallout 4?" I mean, did you get tired of something and fall out twice, or 3 times, or 4 times? I don't know. Fall out of a treehouse 4 times. Okay. I was wondering if it changed because everybody else had problems. Stu still says the same, and some of you guys like W's all weird. Uh, some of the other guys have their name changed. I don't think Trucker Jerry had a 5730 on his originally, but may did. I can't remember. Um, I don't know what's up with that. YouTube doing their weird stuff. Anyway, Stu said I had 100+ hours in Fallout 4 on PS4. Haven't played since 2017. Yeah, Fallout 3 on the PC. First time playing through it on PC. Much better than console. Yeah, well, that's honestly the case with most games. The only thing that's the big difference in a console game and a PC game is the controls. Some people are used to those console controls, and how they work, and that's a drastic difference. Um, Sometimes it gives you an advantage, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's worse. So I get that, but I haven't played like console games in forever. Debbie said YouTube changed all our names recently. We can change it back on. Oh, okay. So that's why some of you guys are getting your names back. Okay. Yeah, they do weird stuff, man. Uh, yeah, and I don't know. I guess Car Audio Enthusiast is my primary name, so it doesn't change no matter what they do. That's cool. I went full on when I created this channel. That's the name I put on there. Debbie said the name changed just our YouTuber tags. We're closing on 2 hours, guys. Do I have any requests or any questions? Uh, oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Stu said I accidentally got used to using keyboard on Fallout while waiting for Xbox controller to come in the shop. Got the controller, got it working, and went back to the keyboard. For real, man. For real. All right, y'all, let's check out a song. I'm going to play a song. Give you guys time to think of something that you want to ask. This is one that I just uploaded a video for. You guys may not have heard it. No sound. Well, hang on a second then. It's probably because I had the wrong thing turned on. I'm going to put the video on. Bear with me a second. I know you guys can hear me. That way you can see the words. Yep. Oh, wait, that ain't the right one, though. Get back here. We'll refresh it. We will refresh it. There we go. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Here we go.
I should quit smoking, well imagine that. The doctor says I shouldn't eat fat. Smoking was cool back in '83. 4 square meals on a big food tree. My heart's failing, I'm overweight. Probably cause of all them meals I ate. The professionals say to just eat grass. Hell, they can all just kiss my ass. I'm gonna live until I die, taking chances, I'll learn to fly. Not gonna stop, I'm gonna try. Just gonna live until I die. I'm gonna live until I die, taking chances, I'll learn to fly. Not gonna stop, I'm gonna try. Just gonna live until I die. What they know now be wrong one day. What they knew then is hard to say. This is good and this is bad. I would've missed all the fun I had. Thick knee pads and a helmet for your head. Side rails so you don't fall out of bed. We're telling our kids it's alright to lose, and your gender is whatever you choose. I'm gonna live until I die, taking chances, I'll learn to fly. Not gonna stop, I'm gonna try. Just gonna live until I die. I'm gonna live until I die, taking chances, I'll learn to fly. Not gonna stop, I'm gonna try. Just gonna live until I die. What the hell are they gonna say next? Yeah, it's fine to drive while you text. You don't need to work, just stay at home. You can learn to live right on your phone. Here's a trophy for everyone. It's safe inside, stay out of the sun. Don't climb a tree, stay on the ground. Mommy's gonna keep you safe and sound. I miss the days we rode bikes till dark, drank from the hose at the trailer park. Now everything's danger, everything's wrong. Hell, they'd outlaw the words in this song. I ain't looking back, I ain't standing still. I'm gonna live my life how the good Lord will. If they don't like it, well that's just fine. I'll be me, and they'll be online. You gotta live until you die, taking chances, you'll learn to fly. Just don't stop, you gotta try. You gotta live until you die. You gotta live until you die, taking chances, you'll learn to fly. Just don't stop, you gotta try. You gotta live until you die.
And what'd y'all think about that? So, while I'm waiting on any responses I might get, Derek asked, when you test your SUV for resonant frequency, should you do it with a sub box in the SUV? Yes. I feel like the number would be screwed by not having the box in. It absolutely would. You want to have as much of your system together as possible. You want to have a full system build if you can to get that. El Fuego says, fantastic show. He has to go. And, you know, the West Coast does shut down eventually. Peace out, Frigo. I'm sure you're already offline, but showing love, my friend. I'm Banny. I'm Banny. Says the Black Widow's FS is 47.8. I lowered the tune on those cabs to 40. It's not as efficient, but I switch the boxes around when it warms up. Okay. Let's see here. Joseph wants to know when the Christmas song will be on Spotify. I don't know that it will be. I may end up putting up a holiday. I would consider putting up a holiday album with my scary songs and stuff in there, and a couple of Christmas tunes. So I haven't done it yet, but it's a possibility in the future. Yes. Yeah. He's asking. He's answering the question. You want your? Yeah. Exactly what he said. Absolutely. And then there was the no sound thing. Appreciate you guys for calling that out. I forgot that I had to switch my screen over. Um, yeah, you got close, man. That was close. Uh, oops. Let's see, 98.9 dB sensitivity. Okay. Oh, that's the subs. That's insane. That's insane, really. Appreciate you, Stu. Um, yeah, I drop them like that. This one took a lot of work. The mood hits me, man. I'll just be doing random stuff, and all of a sudden, a line will pop into my head, and I have to get to my computer and I start typing out a song. And sometimes I'll type out a song in just 5 minutes. I'll have the whole song written. Sometimes it takes a little longer, but it hits me, and I have to go start doing it. I just have to go do it right now. And a lot of times, what I'll do is I'll sing it and play it with the guitar and record it, and then I'll use that to feed to the AI so that it creates a song based on what I'm doing. Um, my rendition will suck, but the AI will go, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. I see what you're, it figures it out, and then it does a better job of what I did. And then I'll take that, and then I'll pull it out, and I'll bring it up in stems, and I'll put it in there, and I'll start my workflow building a song. And my workflow can be crazy. Do I have one open right now? I don't have one open right now. I thought I had one open right now. I'll show you what it looks like, but give me a second. So let me open up an Audacity here. I thought I had one open. But, okay, like the song I've been working on. That song's got 8 tracks in it. So I'll show you. Hang on. 9 tracks. A whole lot of tracks. All right. We'll close that. I got my 2 screens back, man. Now I can do stuff. I can do all kinds of cool stuff. So let's bring up this other monitor here. That should, yeah. So once I export the tracks, I end up with what looks like this mess right here. These are all the tracks in a song. So if I play the whole thing, it's not coming over the speakers. Let me fix that real quick. Play it back. No, that's not going to work. Yeah, it's not going to. I had trouble trying to do this before with this. I don't know which one of these is going to work. I think it'll be that one. I don't know. Let's see if y'all can hear this. You probably can't. Could y'all hear that? Let me know if you could hear that in the chat there. Because I don't know. I can't tell. Oh, wait a minute. I do have a way to look. Let me pull up this little thingamajigger over here. Let me just use that. Nope, that ain't it. That ain't it. I just want to show y'all what I do. This is a lot of work in this. I'm going to show you some of it. But I got to figure out how to get this to play. Let's see if that works. You're probably hearing it over my headset. Okay. I'll go with that because I know it's mapping in a weird way. Okay, y'all are getting it. Okay. All right, so it was just a matter of where it's coming out for me. All right, that's fine. Then I can set this up to where it's coming out in my head. All right. So I'll set it up for my head. Now, this is what it sounds like. The whole thing together, right? So you got bass down here. got guitar down here, all these different percussion. There's other, which can be all kinds of stuff. Vocals are all up here. So then I can go through and solo out, just have the
If you
vocals,
wanna move,
right?
then drop that
Could
low
drop in the
bass.
drums,
If you
could drop in
wanna
the bass.
move, then drop that low bass.
All right.
Low
So I
bass.
can show you what each one of those things sounds like individually. But what I have to do to rebass a track or to drop the heavy bass in a track is I'll take this track, this is the bass track, drag it down to the very bottom of the pile, and I'll go back and I'll grab the drums and drop them down here. It helps me line stuff up. So then I zoom in a lot. Okay, I go down here and I can look at bass notes. So this, if I start playing with just solo the bass. All right, so these two notes right here, that's two separate notes. So then I can select that, hit the analyzer, plot spectrum, and right there I can see this down here. It's a 72 hertz. So I know that's 72 hertz. And if I was going to rebass this track, I'd be looking at half of that note. So 31, 36, be a 36 hertz note. So then I could lower this note to 36, or I can come below, which is what I normally do. I go down here and I add a stereo track, and then I have that note selected. See how that's created there? So I'd come in here and I'd make a little space like that, and I'd come up here, go to generate tone, then I'd do 36 hertz, 36 hertz, and it would generate it here. And then when I got this on solo, if I turn that off, you won't hear any of this other bass, but when it gets to that, you will. So listen. All right, so let's unsolo that. Let's just mute that one. There we go. So just play that one note right there is all it was. And you guys would probably be able to hear that if you got headphones. But I literally have to go through and rebuild all of this the same way. And that's a long process. Now, can I just rebass this part down here? Sure. I can click this whole track and then go to effect and go to pitch and tempo and change pitch and see where it's sitting on B6 right now. I could drop that to B5, and that's going to lower the whole track an octave. All right, we'll have to let that run for a minute. This will sort of work. This is what a bass restorer does, or like a bass processor. Any of those things that you want to do, this is one of the things that they do, is they'll lower it an octave. But if it won't lower an octave and stay in the safe zone, then they'll change to a harmonic of that note. Instead of lowering it by an octave, they will lower it part of an octave to the next lowest, to the harmonic that's close as it can be to the range that most subwoofers can play. Now, this is what happens when you lower that whole thing an octave. So if I play this track again, now all that bass is lower, right? But you'll notice that the twang, right? The twang that the hits whenever they're doing the slap, you'll notice that that twang is also lowered, and it makes the bass sound real weird. Okay, I'm getting to that. You just chill, Stu. I'm on top of this. So you'll notice how that bass sounds. It sounds a bit weird. Well, let me see here. I'm going to open this back up, and I'm going to drag in the bass track again, but it'll be unaltered. Okay. So now we've got the unaltered bass track down here. So now what you can do is steal part of this track. So we just go to effect, go down to filters, do a low pass filter. Remember that was like 36 hertz. So let's do a low pass filter at say 50 hertz. That's probably low enough to cut all the twang out. And oh, wrong track. Let's back up. Edit, undo. I want to do it on this track. And it looked like 50 hertz cut a lot of. Well, it would have because it hadn't been lowered. I mean, my brain is doing things faster than my mouth can do it. So let's do it here. All right, now see we've got ourselves a lowered volume level, and you come down here, and we'll do an effect on this one. This one will do a high pass for like 200 hertz. It's probably plenty fine to get those twangs. See, there's all the twangs. So now I want to take this one. Its volume is reduced, and I want to do a amplify effect on it and pull it up 4.5. That's pretty close. So now if we put both of these on solo, we'll hear this. See, it sounds mostly like it's like a slap bass, but at a lower octave. Now, if we take this one out, down here, all we hear is the twangs. Okay? That's just the twangs at 200 and up. But if we take, let's see here, take it out, now you just hear the bottom end of the bass, the real bass notes.
Drop the low bass.
That's the twangs down there, just the twangs. All right, so now if we back and we play the whole track, see, it sounds right. Now, in some songs you can get away with this, but not all of them. This is probably a very small percentage. Now, this will rebase the song. It depends on how low it is, because if the song was already like in the 40s, and you cut it an octave down, you're going to be down into the low 20s, and that can get you in trouble. You don't want to play too low. So then you have to do a harmonic, which is a whole nother thing to understand. But this is only a tiny portion of the shit that I go through when I'm working on music. So there's a whole lot of stuff that happens. I use Audacity I use it like a freaking like a whole mixing table. I mean, I work all kinds of stuff in Audacity. Now let's pull up here, because I think a couple of you guys was talking about this. I need to get my chat thing back up there. There we go. Okay, let's see here. All right, so welcome to the show, man. I cannot pronounce your name. Eddieist Romaine. Eddieist Romaine. Okay, got it. I just got my B2 DSP, and it's going to take a while to even start to listen to a song. Yeah, you got some learning to do, man. But trust me, it's good learning. It's good learning. A couple of YouTube guys, yes. A couple of tuning guides, sure. Yeah, I've actually got a couple here and there. The DSP app for Android, yeah, and that's what you want to use. It doesn't work with some apps like Spotify. I don't know. Play that funky music. Yeah, Stu, that's so the way I created this track was by using Play That Funky Music, White Boy. I pulled a few bits out of it, and also Laid Back, Ride the White Horse. If you know that song, you wanna ride, ride the white horse. Get that one? Yeah. So I used that and both of those two in conjunction to get this bizarre ass song, and a whole lot of crazy mixing and reprocessing and mixing. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Stu says you can high pass your bass guitar track as well, and let the rebass track fill that spot. Yep, you can. Depends on how you're doing things. It's a whole lot of stuff involved, man. There's a million ways that you can slice this pie. It's just think of it as a pizza. You can cut it thousands of ways if you want to, and you can do all sorts of cool stuff with it. Um, Box design. Oh goodness, there's a bunch of those. I use. Hang on a minute. Let me close this. No, I don't want to save it because I did crazy stuff to it. Let me close that and get to there. This is my box. I use this thing. I use it all the time. It's free, and that's what I do. It's not the best, but I like it. I'm used to using it, and I can get the information that I'm wanting to get. Oh, you guys can't see this. There you go. I can get the information that I want to get from it, and it does a good job. And this is Subbox Pro. It's free. It's limited on power, but it can do the stuff that I need it to do. Uh, let's see here. Key. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Subbox Pro. Yeah. And then Stu says the key with one ISD is to enter the air quality settings for your area. Quality? Air quality. Enter the air quality settings for your area and use the help section for information. I'm 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 wanting to think he meant quantity. Now Stu doesn't typo very much. That's why I'm debating on whether he actually meant air quality. Do you filter that air? Got to filter that air. Stu, I won't mess with you, man. Can you shape any? Can you do any shape or size in it? Yes, mostly, mostly. I mean, you can't do like a guitar shape. You'd have to figure that one out. But it's going to give you general perimeters, not specific dimensions, other than that port area and length. And that's where the using your brain comes in. You got to use your brain along with it. Any software is going to have some pretty generic stuff. So using your brain, uh, there's the software to get port velocities is one that I wish I had, just the ability to measure port velocities. But I have a good eye for it. I kind of know about how much port area to have, so that kind of gets me past it. And there's also some simple calculation tools to calculate port size, like port area. There's really good. You can use this for that, but you can also use this website to do lots of things. So it has a ton of tools. Each one of these bars is a tool. Has a ton of tools. If you know what you're doing to start with, you have to have some clue what the hell you're doing, or this won't work for you. Um, you can use this to calculate port length for a square port or for a slot port. Got the volume calculator, which that's something I do in my with just a calculator, and the wedge volume, which is basically half of a square volume. That's fairly easy to do. This one's a little trickier, but all you basically do is if you got one of these shape boxes, is you measure. You consider this part a triangle, and if you measure across halfway, so if you figure the halfway point here and measure from there back, you can get that volume calculated. So you just double it. If you have well, anyway, you can get the volume calculated. Basically, if you measure from here back, you just count this as the box, because it'll fill in that wedge. See, you're missing this chunk right here. But whenever you measure from here back, right in the middle of this baffle, you're going to get this little triangle is going to fill in where this is. So you're going to get the calculation you need. Anyway, I couldn't get my brain to process what I was saying. I would use the calculator for this. But yeah, there's all kinds of little helpful tools on here. So, and there's more stuff beyond here. So yeah, you can get in some pretty cool stuff on that. There's a couple of different spots where you can go to. Yeah, Stu corrected himself. I just spotted this correction. Dimensions. So I've inverted my subwoofers. Okay, hold on. XYS says, so I've inverted my subwoofer. Which is better, inverted or standard? It depends on what you're trying to accomplish, man. If you're wanting, usually inverting your subs will offer better cooling because you have more airflow over the coil. You can change air, like if you got an air conditioner in your vehicle, that the air it's playing into is going to typically be a little cooler. It can also allow you to check your coil temperatures much easier with a temp gun. Uh, and you can gain a little bit of box volume by doing that. It's typically around 0.15 to around 0.25, depending on your subwoofer size of a cubic foot. It can add up but one of the main reasons people do that is visual. They like to be able to see the subwoofer because it's really cool looking on the back. Got to see that booty, rising up and taking over the world. I like the booty shots. And then the other reason is you don't have enough room for the magnet and the frame to fit underneath the baffle. So maybe you got a fairly thin but wide box. Mounting it inverted will allow that sub to be used in that space. But beyond that, there's not really any advantage or disadvantage, to be honest. Because, hey, a lot of people will say, well, you want the cone to be able to push air, but remember, your cone is not pushing air, your cone is vibrating air. And whether it's mounted in or out, it's going to still vibrate the same air. So the amount of structural strength that the cone has on the front, it doesn't matter because the front's only doing half the job. And no matter how you have it turned, it's still moving air with both sides of the subwoofer. So it really doesn't matter. Another thing that might possibly be an effect is you may get some noise off the back of the sub from the cooling vents being activated to keep the coil cold. So if you're doing the SQ setup, you might not run it magnet out because you might be getting noise from the cooling vents. However, most of the time, you're not going to hear that. And a lot of SQ guys go inverted too because they like to look at that booty just like us. Us bass heads, man. We're into it. Okay, let's see if moves more on 300 watts inverted. All right, so if it's playing better lows, it means you probably don't have enough airspace in your box when you designed it. So inverting it's going to add a little bit more airspace, and yeah, it will play lows a little bit better. Inverting usually gives you a touch more airspace. Yeah, exactly what I said. I have a 12. Okay. I'm thinking it may be more. I may need more of a CAD program or something. Looking to design a boombox for 2 8s, 2 6.5s, and then 1 10. No, you just need to think. You need to break it down into pieces, man. If you're doing a boombox, you need to actually design a cabinet for the 10, but the rest of that just needs to be closed airspace. They don't require anything. It's like um, your 8s and your 6.5s are probably designed to play in the door of a vehicle. And so they're designed at 0.707 or around 0.7 QTS. So they're going to, whenever you put them in any enclosure, they're going to be able to play even without an enclosure, without destroying themselves. They don't need an air cushion to ride on like the subwoofer does. So you've only got to worry about designing the subwoofer enclosure part. The other parts, you just need a baffle of some kind. You can use any shape or size around them, and you'll be fine. You'll typically get a better response, a better low end response out of those larger drivers with a slightly larger enclosure. So make your boombox, your sub part needs to fit the sub, and then the other part, make them as big as you can get them because you're going to get better low end response from those drivers with a larger enclosure. So yeah, that's all you really need is design it you're just designing for the 10 or 10 or 12. Yeah. You just need to design one sub for a single, one box for a single sub inside there or however you're doing it. Let's see what's two. Play around with swapping the polarity. Okay, yeah. He's back on that one. Let's see. SketchUp. Okay, so you're trying to actually build it out. Yeah, that's going to be CAD or SketchUp. Yeah, SketchUp would work. SketchUp or CAD. Yeah, that's the kind of shit you're looking for. You're looking for some expensive software. So, oh, SketchUp's. No, I don't think SketchUp's expensive. But SketchUp might be free. I don't know. I haven't messed with it. Yeah, grandma's lamp cord. Hell yeah, grandmama's. Yeah, definitely a Steve Mead watcher here. That's what Steve always calls it, grandmama's lamp cord. Hell yeah, bro. Mechanical noise. Yep. Is there a pedal for 12? There's a pedal for 12 over a 15? There's a pedal for 12 over a 15. I am reading that correctly. I had to make sure I read it right. I have no idea what that's not even a question, it's a statement. But I have no idea what you're asking. Is there a difference? Yeah, I mean, 15 is going to be able to play lows at a louder volume than a 12, but that's really it. It's going to be able to move more air, which means it'll be able to play the low frequencies at a louder volume than the 12. The 12 will still be able to play just as low, but not as low as loud as a 15 will. All things else being equal, if they're exactly the same parameters across the board, the 15 will play lows louder than the 12. You couldn't look up a gateway? A Gately Audio. Okay. 1930s model H vacuum cord. I'm not even sure they had vacuums in the 1930s. I don't think they did. I think they just swept the damn carpet and called it good. Let the chickens in. Let the chickens eat the stuff off the carpet. Did they even have carpet in the 1930s? You people are all crazy. Well, guys, I got pork chops waiting on me. I'm going to shut her down. So y'all have a good night, and we are going to get the duck out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. Out here banging up and down the street, slamming it to the ground. Big subwoofers are getting loud. You can feel the booming sound. Getting ready to go. Got it shined up for the show. Hours charging, amps are amping, gonna let the woofers blow. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one goes, and another one goes, and another one bites the dust. We got more at home. Another one bites the dust. Eyes are glowing and the amps smoking. Subs are cherry red. Let me keep jamming, gotta keep the bass slamming. Gonna go hard till they're dead. Full power, gotta let it go. 20 hertz in the floating air. Sparks are flying, voice cords are frying, and the smoke is in the air. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one goes, and another one goes, and another one bites the dust. Hey, we got more at home. Another one bites the dust.